Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Dark Finds podcast. On today's episode, we have Ellis Shepherd, a rising star in the world of bare knuckle fighting. Ellis has a very interesting journey. He started boxing at 13, but as he got older, he found himself with the wrong crowd and was sent to prison. He was eventually acquitted of the crime, and free again, he ventured into bare knuckle boxing. He's the youngest pro bare knuckle fighter in the UK and is signed with Bareknuckle FC. On Saturday, April 6th, he'll fight Gary Fox for the heavyweight UK title. Fascinating story, and I really hope you enjoy this episode. But that's it, man. It's going to be a big fight. I was looking through. I went back and watched your last fight again against Hick, and man, that was it was such a counter punching fighting, but the ferocity.
Absolutely.
And even when I looked at the McLean fight,
yeah,
man, that was.
Obviously, on my last fight with John Hick, obviously, it on paper I did lose, but it was such a close fight. He snatched the first two rounds, I snatched the second two, and then on the fifth round he beat me by a few punches. But I showed heart and I showed courage, and I fought to the bitter end, and it could have gone either way, really. I mean, it took me 2 rounds to come out of my shell. And when I did come out of my shell, I was explosive. I was scoring good shots, and like I say, it could have gone either way. But I don't count fights like that as major losses. I count them as learning curves, and yeah, I think you can have a good loss and you can have a bad loss, and I'll probably say that was a very good loss because it was against a very good boy, and I went to distance with him, and it went like that. So
Yeah. And it's all a learning experience, Ellis. I suppose to get back, were you always interested in boxing? Because where did it start? I suppose the interest in boxing. You said you started off camera. You said you got into it at 12. Were you always interested in watching fights?
Well, do you know what? I'll just start from the beginning as we're on that subject. So
yeah,
when I bloody was coming up as a kid, I definitely weren't the man that I am today. All right, so it's taken me all these years to get to this point in life to be humbly hard. But what I mean by that is like when I was a kid, when I was at school, I used to get bullied at school. So it took me a lot of life adversities to get me to this point with my character and who I am. So what I mean by that is when I used to go to school, I used to get bullied. So my dad pushed me into the boxing club so I could protect myself and become harder up there, which worked. But I boxed in an amateur club called Woking Boxing Club, and there were some very, very good boys there. They toughened me up and they got me very good, and got carded up and all that. And I bloody lost love for it when I was about 17, 18, and I just, what it's like going into, becoming 18 and that. You know what I mean? You end up bloody going down a bit of a warpath of just naughty stuff.
Yeah.
And then when I got to I think I was 20, I was already knocking about with a few naughty boys and getting in trouble with the police and that and getting arrested on the regular. And then I bloody end up going to prison, didn't I, for allegedly aggravated burglary. And when I was 20, in the big boy in the big boy prison, I was just knocking about with a few naughty boys. We won't go into it, but all I'm going to say is the bloody it was alleged charges got pulled off, and I believe it was a lesson from God that even though obviously I didn't do the crime, it showed me that the life that I was heading down wasn't the life that I truly wanted.
Yeah.
So you know, God showed me that. He gave me a little tester, a little taster of the life that weren't for me. So he showed me that, and he said, "See, this is what it would have been for you. Now you know. Now I'm gonna give you one more chance. Now you're gonna have another chance, and I'm gonna show you what your full potential really is." And then when I come out of there, high down, house spot 3 C-spur, I end up bloody obviously I was on remand, so I come out, and then I end up coming out, and then I was with my bird. My bird, she was on the outside. I come out to her, and her dad is Steve Dossett, and he runs. He's had 250 professional fights. Um,
Okay.
he's quite a from where I'm from. He's quite a notorious fighter. Everyone knows him. Everyone loves him, and he ended up bloody having a fight show at the time called Against the Ropes. And
Okay.
he was running the show with a fella called Steve Lestrange, who's just recently, he's one of my pals. He's just done a podcast with James English. You know James
Yeah.
English?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's one of my pals. He's quite a well known fella. I was actually just watching a podcast before this video on bloody
Yeah.
YouTube. But so him and my father in law Steve run this show called Against the Ropes. I was only out of prison for like 2 weeks, out of shape, bloody. Got invited to the show. I come to watch a few bare knuckle fights on there, and I had about 5 beers. And what ended up happening was I sat down with my missus, and I end up bloody a fella pulled out of a fight, and so many people turned up to watch this fight, and someone pulled out of the fight. And then my father-in-law come up to me and was like, "Come on, then, let's jump up. Come on, you don't need the training. You know, you got a bit of a boxing background behind you. Just jump up in the ring and do the job. Get the job done. Get in there and just put on the show." I said, "Steve, mate," I said, "Nah," I said, look, I've had a couple of beers. I ain't got a gum shield on me. I've only got a pair of fucking Air Maxes on, and I've got a pair of trackies on. The fella's 20 stone, the fella's 20 kilos heavier than me. All right, he's been in a bloody fight camp. Yeah, and he's been training for the last 8 weeks. I've just come out of prison 2 weeks ago, not done 1 ounce of training." He was like, "Mate, just jump
Oh
up. What's
man.
up with ya?" So I jumped straight up. I thought, you know what? Fuck it. The beers got into me, didn't they? And I went and done just literally a 2 minute warm up in the back room, and I come out, and I had a few good boys in my corner, and I ended up
Yeah.
stopping him in the second round, but I was blowing out my ass. But I've actually got the
Yeah.
video. I'll send you it after of the shot I hit him with that
Do.
made him crumble. I split his face from there to there. He ended up getting bloody load of stitches to sort his face out. But yeah, and in that video from that point, it went viral, and that's when I got talking to BKB, which is the biggest bare knuckle platform in the UK before
Yeah.
BKFC entered the UK. And I had 2 fights on there, and I won both the fights. And yeah, that's how the journey started for me. Then end up going into that. That was in the O2 Arena. And then from there,
Yeah.
my profile got big, and then I got really healthy again. I got really, really strong again, and mentally strong and confident. And then from there, I end up fighting in Wembley, mate, getting the BKFC, and I believe it's all God's plan. It's all God's plan,
Definitely.
And then now I'm
Definitely. And
fighting for this British title, this
yeah,
Saturday.
which is
So
that's going to be incredible. But even just to jump back a bit, so when you were in remand and stuff, were you training? You said you came out, you weren't in the best shape. Were you training? Were you,
nah,
doing any cardio
I
or
I
weights
I
or anything like that?
I was at that point. I can't lie to you. I was going through severe mental health because I believe that a lot of it was to do with because I was on a bad path before I went in, and I was I was bloody I end up bloody. I think I was on a lot of steroids and stuff like that. And then
Yeah,
because I went in and I come off of them and all that, all my hormones, everything, they were all over the bloody shot. I was just my mind weren't there, and I was under the impression in there that I was going to be getting bloody 10 years, is what the judge said to me. So I thought I was getting 10 years, and I was on remand, so I didn't know what was going on with my case and all this shit. I thought I was going to get done for something that I didn't do. Everything like that was flying through my mind, so I didn't have the mind capacity to be bloody training and like that. I needed to be in there a bit longer than what I was to be settled, then to start doing that. So God bless me and pulled me out of that situation faster than slow, if you know what I mean. So which was good. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And so, Ellis, when you came out then, it must have been like, you get out, you beat the charges, you get that scrap in the bare knuckle against the ropes with your father-in-law. You must have felt like you got a second chance at life, especially winning in the fashion that you did. You smashed your man's face. The video went viral. Was that like almost a message? Oh, this is the path I need to be on.
um, well, at that point, I didn't really think at that point I was going to be where I'm at now. I got to be honest. I didn't have that vision of being this big, like, you know what I mean, like big name in the bare knuckle scene. But I can't say I'm disappointed in that. I'm very happy that God's put me on that path. Have that name about me and have a reputation like that. That's fair. I'm thankful to God for that. But yeah, I mean, you know, the script has been written, as they say, and all we're doing is fulfilling it. So you get what I mean?
Yeah. And was there an epiphany moment then when it hit you that, okay, I can go far in this, I have the talent.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
When,
yeah.
when did that happen?
There really was. I've been emotional about it a few times. Trust me, I'm a deeply emotional boy. So I bloody yeah. I've had moments where I really do. I felt chosen. Yeah, I have had them moments. I have. I can't lie. I've been running and training before, and at the moment of feeling like a spiritual vibe, like the
Yeah.
spotlight's on me and it's all about me, and I'm coming to win everything, and I'm bloody, do you know what I mean? The grafter. That's what it's been like that for me. Yeah, it has done. So absolutely. You know.
And how are you like? So you're going into these fights. Like, did you ever want to go down the boxing route, or was it no? Why the bare knuckle and why not the boxing? And as well, did you ever think of MMA, or was it? Where was the process here?
Well, I actually like the bare knuckle because I personally feel like it's a purer sport.
Mm,
um, because there's no gloves and it's more of an explosive thing. But not taking anything away from the boxers, because there's a lot of fucking good boxers out there, mate. You know what I mean? I
yeah,
sparred many, many good boys. But yeah, I mean, who knows where it could go? I mean, this is a big fight on a big platform coming up this Saturday.
yeah,
We're gonna get this out the way. We're gonna take the win, all right, and basically, who knows what can happen after this? I mean, in my fight contract, it does say you can do any sport you want to do, but you just can't do any other bare knuckle shows. So that means you can
okay,
box. You can
yeah,
box if you want to go box. You can do that, but it's one fight at a time, or you can go do kickboxing or whatever. But it's one fight at a time, and the thing is this year I'm going to be a bit more active fighting. So once I get this fight out of the way, I'm gonna move straight on to another one, and I'm going to get another title. I'll probably have to end up defending the title, obviously, when I win it. So
yeah.
like that. So there you go. Who knows what's in the what's in God's plan.
And that's it with Gary Fox. So the guy you're fighting on Saturday night. He's a lot older. He's in his late 30s. How
Yeah.
are you preparing differently for an older fighter than you would say with some of them in the bare knuckle boxing ones where they were younger fighters?
Well, I can honestly say to you this. With Gary Fox, I don't know if you've looked at his
Yeah,
record.
I have. I've looked some of the
So,
videos. All right.
so he is a very durable fighter, and bare knuckle is very different to boxing in a lot of aspects, but it is very similar as well. So if you can box, it helps you a lot in the bare knuckle game. It gives you an edge over someone that can't box, because it's positioning, footwork, distance control, things like that. Controlling the fight like that, that's what can win you a fight on its own. But what what I'm trying to say is with Gary Fox, he's a well-seasoned fighter. Now, the older you get, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're all right. You come out of your physical prime, but your ring IQ doesn't go anywhere. Just because he's 39 years old doesn't mean it's not going to be easy.
No,
All right, it's not going to
no.
be an easy fight for me. It's going to be a tough fight. I'm expecting to go to the full five of him, But obviously, when the opportunity comes about, I will knock him out. When I find the pocket, and that's it. It's no point rushing in and doing something stupid and walking onto a big shot. You got to bloody. You got to. It's all timing and things like that, and wait for the right opportunity to pounce.
Yeah,
And you
definitely. I
pray.
think even more so than in any of the other combat sports, nearly because the damage is so quick. Some of the people's their eyebrows getting opened up or their eyes swollen compared to like in
Yeah.
boxing.
So that's another thing as well. Good thing you said that. So with bare knuckle, it's like, especially with the older boys that have been boxing for a while. He's 39. Obviously, I'm 25. Like, I haven't had as many cuts as him, so his face is going to be easy to split open. You can win a fight on cuts with bare knuckle. If you stay elusive and just keep jabbing, slip straight shots, boom, boom. In and out of the pockets every now and again, throwing a three punch combo, and you're landing. The referee and the doctor's going to be looking at them open cuts. They're going to be like, right, he can't carry on. Staying at a good distance and bloody and picking your shots nicely, you can win your fight. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah, because I'd seen in the BKB 24, you fought McLean, and
yeah,
he opened up. Like I think you'd hit him and he was down,
it
and it
can't.
was just pumping. I can't believe they let him fight on. I was like, my God, this is
Yeah, I know.
insane.
Yeah, yeah. I remember that little bit there. So he come out charging, flying and swinging. Didn't he? Tried to take my
Yeah.
fucking head off, didn't he?
And you had words before. I seen there was words before when you kind of went into, yeah, to touch fists and all.
Yeah.
Was he trying to get into your head? Were you trying to get
Oh,
into his head?
the whole time before, he was literally, but he was doing 20-minute videos on social media, trying to get into my head, saying like,
Ah,
this is what's gonna happen, this, and I just put on the comments, look, mate, we'll see what's gonna
yeah,
happen on the night. I'm gonna splatter you, all right, and I said it and I done it. Do you know what I mean? So I manifested that, but when the bell went, he come flying at me, mate. I fought at a heavier weight then as well than to what I do normally. I'm fighting at 66 this time. I think I fought at 70 kilos in that fight, so I'm 4 kilos up. But so yeah, I mean, yeah, it was good, quite interesting because he come with his blue hair and I come with the multicolour there, wasn't
definitely.
it?
You had the better
So
shorts.
just made a better show, didn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. And Ellis, how are you handling the pressure then? Like you seem really relaxed now, and you're going into a major, a title fight on Saturday. What's that process? It's fight week, obviously, for you now. Are you chilling out? Are you spending time with the family? Are you
Uh,
relaxing? Are you training?
so I am full time training. So, I've done one session today, and I'm chilling out now and relaxing. I'm just watching a few videos on YouTube, going from podcasts to fights to BKFC to boxing. Just oh, what's the word? Familiarizing myself with fighting and
Yeah,
and 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 mindset.
yeah,
Because it's what I do before every fight. So it's good to do that, watch things and watch how other fighters fighting, everything like that. But like I said, I've had one session today. I'm relaxing now. I've done my hard camp now. All right. So the
yeah,
last 5 weeks, 6 weeks, whatever, I've been training solid. All right. So now this week on fight week is the time to taper down, relax, and suck it all back in because you were I was very tired towards the end of my camp about 2 weeks ago because I was putting all the work in. But
yeah,
now your body gains all the energy back. You eat and you relax. You do one session a day instead of two sessions a day, and your body starts coming back and you come stronger. And then by the time fight day comes on Saturday, I'll be invincible. So and when I say invincible, I mean, look, at the end of the day, anything can happen in the fight because it's a bare knuckle fight. But like I say, if you don't carry that type of confidence with yourself in the ring, you definitely won't have a chance. So that's why I come in with that confidence because I believe in myself. I believe in my ability. That's how you got to bloody do it. And if you don't,
that's it.
you're not a fighter. You're not a fighting man. But what I was going to say was, so so yeah. So with the relaxation, it's I've been doing little bit of meditation actually as it goes. because I am actually, believe it or not, you sound look relaxed, but I can be a very on edge person, and like with anxiety and bloody, uh, it's good to have anxiety and nerves, because when the real situation goes down, you're already awake, mate. Do you know what I mean?
You're
So,
on.
but no, it is.
Yeah.
I'm all good with that. It's not a biggie. Do you know what I mean? So,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's just, if you get it through life adversities.
Yeah.
So, do you know what I mean? But
Yeah. Well, that's it. I always say, like, if like struggle can be really good. It's like Kevlar, if you can handle it and you can get through it. Like, obviously, with some people, it can cripple them.
exactly. So that's good that you said that, because there's a lot of men that it's good that we're doing this video, because there's a lot of men out there that suffer with mental health and
Yeah.
and 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 everything, and bloody, you know they it is there's a lot. The suicide rate for men has gone up highly recently, and I've one of my cousin, one of my family members close, one of my water boys for my fights, hanged himself a few months ago, yeah, which is my cousin, and my missus cousin as well, and bloody, yeah, sad. And he's only 26, and he was my water boy, and just, a lot of men hold things in, they don't talk about it, no one expects it. There's been more than that happening. One of my other pals done the same thing again, not mention no names, but again, he done it. And there's another suicide the other day, and even I even heard about a British champion fighter doing it. And it just goes to show about, it don't matter how hard you are and what you're painted out to be, and what, like even the hardest men in the world, they all go through the mental health and things like
Yeah.
that. So, it doesn't matter. You just gotta find a coping mechanism, get through it. If you've got to talk to someone, talk to them. Do you know what I mean? And like I say, like you just said a minute ago, every life adversity, and adversity means problem, that gets thrown in front of you. That makes you stronger. So it's a hurdle. Once you get over it, you're a stronger man in the mind. And like I say, I believe that God put us here to undergo all these problems to make us stronger for our next life. You just don't know, and the worst thing to do is cop out. You know what I mean? Don't cop out of it, because it's like, there's always light at the end of the tunnel. And when you're at rock bottom, the only way is up. So,
Yeah.
as you know, so yeah, I mean,
But
look,
it's like that. Like, you look at any of my favorite movies, like you look at Gladiator, or you look at, that's one of my favorite films, Black Hawk Down's another. All these films are built on someone going through struggle. Like, you'll never see a good movie that's smooth sailing. It's all about the protagonist in the story facing adversity after adversity after adversity, and then coming out stronger at the end of it. And I think life is very much like that also. It has to be struggle, and it's overcoming that struggle. If you can use struggle like a ladder, but a lot of times it can just, the weight of it can bear down also too much as well.
yes, exactly. The key to it, the key to it is like carrying a positive vibration, and then what you give is what you receive. So if you're giving a positive frequency, a positive vibration, you'll receive the same thing back. It's like an echo sound thing. And
Yeah,
I mean, if you're going about being a prick and bloody doing naughty things to people, and just you know maybe robbing people, or maybe you know um just being a complete uh scam, or anything like that, anything that puts someone else in a bad situation, yeah, then
yeah.
somewhere else on the line on your journey, you're going to get the same thing happen to you, but in its own way.
But yeah, man, I couldn't agree more. It's like, and there needs to be more role models, I think, like, about men's mental health as well. Like, I think it's one of the biggest killers. I know, definitely in Ireland, I'd say it's the same in the UK, of young men. It's the biggest killer. And I think then it comes to road accidents. And for someone like a big tough fighter like you, for you to be able to come out and speak about it, and I think you know, that's the sort of role model people need, because people can look at a fighter like you go in and you face these extreme situations in, whether it's a ring or the circular ring now in the Bareknuckle FC. But for someone like that, and for you to be able to open up, and yeah, there is tough times and stuff, but I think there's, having an openness to talk about it is so vital for young people and middle aged people even.
Yeah, I totally agree with that because like it's like even you know with women, it's like they're very very good good with the mind and being spiritual, but the men are born here tough and bloody rough and ready. Do you know what I mean? So that's why a lot of it's to do with that. But like I say, you just got to be a bit more open minded with people, and you just don't know what people are going through, really. So that's why you've always got to have open mind about it, and you know, if people need to talk about something, get it off your chest. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And I suppose going on to the next question, what's the training routine like at the minute? So, are you training the mental game as much as say the cardio and the physical game?
yeah, so with like I've got good people around me, you see. So having good people around you plays a big part in your mindset and your mental health. Like as in, you know, like I've got family members that like are like for example with the meditation, you know, I got advised to do that by a close family member, taught me how to do it properly, and you know, since doing it, it relaxes me. But you know, the guy that does it, his name's Brian Dossett. He's a 10th Dan martial artist. He's a famous bloke. He's done books. He's like the white Bruce Lee. Um, yeah, so if you looked him up on Google, you'd find him straight away. He's massive, got thousands of hits and that. He was on the One Show in the UK. You know, so yeah, he's like does a lot of like likes to like do like a what's it called, like a rehabilitation like session with me sometimes, like you know, like just sat there, tap into the minds, give me
Yeah,
the right frequencies, and then boom. But I could do that for myself anyway. So, you know, it like I say with the mindset, you can't really I would probably say that you couldn't really because some people are born and they haven't got that thing about them, you know, like that dynamite. You know, that dynamite, that explosion. Yeah, and the one thing I'm born with is the dynamite. But it also, I believe it also does have a lot to do with adversities as well. That makes you tough. So that plays a big part on it. And them two things there, I'd probably say is a good little recipe to have a good mindset for fighting and you know, yeah, fighting. It gives you that good mindset. It's a little recipe there, and then from there, you know you can choose to do whatever you want to do with that mindset. But my little path is obviously doing the bare knuckle, and yeah.
yeah,
So I mean, with that, it's like yeah, I've got it about me to do it. You know.
yeah. And do you like? Are you visualizing? So are you going into Saturday's fight and are you visualizing how you're
Yeah,
going to finish your opponent? What
yeah,
round? Are you
yeah,
going through sequences and stuff like that? Is that what's going
yeah.
through your mind? Yeah,
Yeah. So you know, every fighter bloody knows when it gets close to the fight, you got to be visualizing what you're gonna do. You know how to get out of the situation if you get into this situation, or you know how to bloody deal with it when it's there. But yeah, I'm visualizing standing over my opponent with my hand up and holding that belt. That's what I'm visualizing, and the new. You know, I'm repeating, you know, I'm repeating these little things in my head over and over again. And even when I'm running, I'm training, I'm repeating it in my head, getting it, drilling it, and making it. So if you say it, you believe it, then you're bloody gonna get it in you. And you know, as long as you've done the training and that, all the hard work's done. Just got one little job to do. Get that done. Happy days. Do you know what I mean?
definitely. How are you calming that energy and
Oh,
using it for all when you get into the ring?
so basically, like I said, you know, all the hard work beforehand in my previous weeks. Yeah, I've been unloading all that dynamite, unloading it, building the endurance up, and then on the fight week, you suck it all back in like a sponge. And then on the fight night, everything you've been learning, everything you've been doing, you let that gut explode just in that 10 minutes of work, and you let it all go like dynamite. You know, you let it play. You know, you've done all the hard work and you was fatigued. You might have had a good spar, you might have had a bad spar, you know, and what ends up happening is because your body might be a bit tired, so you're not performing as good as what you think. Yeah, and then out of nowhere, boom, You start performing because everything comes back to you after that week of solid training, like tapering down. All your body comes back and everything. Your confidence is there again, and the next thing you know, boom, you're in there and you do the business. So yeah, it's like when you're in a fight, it's like you can't bloody burn all your energy in the first round. You gotta be a smart operator, and you got to be very strategic with your maneuvers. You got to pick your shots. You can't look scrappy. You can't look. You got to look sharp. You got to look cream. You got to look trim, and you got to pull things off. And you're not really meant to be impressing anyone but the judges. The judges, but also. Even just being on that platform and getting yourself there, you should be patting yourself on the back for just that anyway. You know what I mean? Because, but at the same time, you don't go into a fight thinking in your head you're going to bloody lose. You're thinking
No,
you're
you
gonna win
can't.
it. You're gonna
Yeah,
win it. So what you got to do is from my previous experience on my previous fights is of holding the center of the ring, etc. Things that are going to win you and gain notice from the judges. So
yeah. And I think it's a lot of that. The judging is aggression is how a lot of it's. Well, the judges are looking for, and that I think it was in any of the commentary I've heard. That's one of the things, that forward motion is going to get the judges' attention. And so,
exactly.
with your prep, have you actively said, I'm going to be more aggressive, I'm going to be more forward approaching? Is that something that has to come into your head, since judges are going to be more aware of
So
that? Or are you thinking, no, I just try and knock
so
them out, that's all I
so
want?
so yeah. So basically, it's like it is a mind thing. It is a mind thing. 70% of boxing or fighting is literally in the mind. Believe it or not. So
Yeah,
like coming forward and stuff like that is a mind thing. You can get in bare knuckle. You can't get really away with it with backing off and stuff like that. Which is I did make that mistake before, but it's only because I'm bringing my boxing pedigree into it. But in boxing, you can get away with it because if you look at people like Floyd Mayweather and people like that, they bloody they're counter fighters and they're on the ropes and they're holding their shape and they're catching their opponents. But in bare knuckle, if you're getting rammed into the ropes, it's classed as you ain't the stronger fighter. So
yeah,
that's why you got to hold your ground.
yeah.
You know.
I'd seen a video there on YouTube recently. Now it was more to do with MMA, but it was a lot of the it was saying a lot of the fighters have stopped sparring. Like, is that something, like, do you spar a lot? Do you spar once a week? Are you sparring every day? What's your kind of routine around sparring?
So my routine of sparring is I was sparring bloody twice a week, and when I was deep into my camp, I've just obviously stopped sparring. But yes, sparring is essential. Sparring's crucial to your because there's boxing fitness and training fitness, but then there's sparring fitness, and they're two different things. Like you can be fit and run around the bloody track, 10 times, but as soon as you put the gloves on or you're into an actual bloody spar or fight, the the, there's a big difference in how much energy you burn, and you can get fatigued really fast. So that's why it's really essential you get your sparring in because you got to get yourself sparring fit. So really really important to do that.
Definitely, definitely. Well, I cannot wait for this fight on Saturday night. I'm going to be glued to it.
Good man.
Have you a prediction to make, a round or anything like that, or you're going to keep your,
Um.
your cards close to your chest for now?
So look, like I say, I've watched Gary. I've monitored him. Um. I believe he's a very tough fella. So I have to go with. I'm going to go for full five of him because in the 145 category, knockouts they don't always come about. So
Mm,
I'm looking to go the full five of him. Obviously, if the opportunity comes out and there's a nice pocket and I can plant my feet with a nice shot, then yeah, obviously knock him out. But you know, um, I'd like to say my prediction is cut him to pieces.
Yeah.
make him bleed, chop him up, bloods, and stop him. That's my prediction on the good prediction. If it's not anything other than that, it's going to 5 rounds, and I'm taking the edge.
Yeah,
Boxing his
that's a
head off.
viable strategy by the
Boxing his
sounds
head
of
off.
it.
You know.
Ellis, where can people find you, and where can they get the fight as well? Just do, I suppose, just give quick details so people can know where to reach you.
So you can find the fight on BKFC app, or you can find it on Virgin Media TV, Google TV. It's actually being showed televised for the first time properly in the UK on this fight. It's on Amazon Prime, I believe. So this is the first time it's properly getting televised. So you don't have to watch it off the app. But most people, if you've got a smart TV, you could download it on my smart TV. For some reason, BKFC was already installed into it. I don't know whether that was just because it was a weird thing.
Fate.
It was just like fate. It was like there. I was on my
Yeah.
TV. I was like, "There's BKFC," and it was just there. So I got a smart TV. It was just on there. So I got an account with them. You just create an account and watch it, catch up with any fights you want to. So tune in like that. If you want to come live and watch me, it'd be great. Great to see you there. Just hit me up for some tickets last couple of days. Also, if there's any sponsors out there that would like to sponsor me and my journey in this on this platform and my career, it'd be really grateful. I'd be really grateful for you to come forward. All right. So thank you and God bless.
Definitely. Well, look, thanks so much for coming on, Ellis. As I said, I'll be glued to it and rooting for you, man.
Thank you,
And
mate.
best of luck with the fight. Thanks a million for coming on. Cheers, man.
No worries, brother. God bless you, man. Ta-da, mate.